Hey guys, what's going on? It's your boy here, and man, if you've been scrolling through your phone or checking out social media at all today, you already know the CIA is blowing up everywhere again like it's the biggest topic online right now. It's not because of some new movie or anything crazy, no, it's all because of this JFK assassination stuff that just keeps coming back no matter how many years go by, you know what I mean. It's like this event from 1963 refuses to stay quiet, and today we're gonna talk all about why the agency is right back in the spotlight because of it and nothing else, just this one angle. Seriously, after all this time, that one day in Dallas still gets people fired up and chatting like it happened last week, and it's wild how one thing from history can do that. But here we are again with the CIA trending hard. So here's the main thing that's got everybody talking. There's this whistleblower who stepped up and testified right in front of a Senate committee, and he dropped a huge bomb on them, saying that the CIA went ahead and pulled about 40 whole boxes of files that were all connected directly to President Kennedy's assassination. These weren't just some random old papers sitting in a closet somewhere, no, these boxes were actually in the process of being reviewed so they could get declassified and finally shown to the public by the Office of the Director of National Intelligence after waiting for decades and decades. But instead of letting that happen, the agency just grabbed those boxes right back like they didn't want anyone looking inside them anymore, and that's got people asking all kinds of questions about why they would do that right now. I mean, come on, if there's nothing to hide, then why pull them away at the last second? You know, it just makes the whole situation feel even more mysterious than it already was. And get this, it all happened right around the same time when President Trump put out that executive order telling everyone it's finally time to release every last bit of the remaining assassination records, no more holding back after 60+ years of keeping stuff locked up. The order was supposed to make sure the American people get the full complete picture without all the secrets and red tape getting in the way, but nope, the CIA apparently decided to step in and yank those 40 boxes away anyway, and now you can imagine how mad that made a lot of folks, especially the lawmakers. The ones on the House Oversight Committee are getting super fired up about it, and they're demanding that the CIA hands those documents right back immediately, like no more delays, no more excuses, just give them over so we can see what's really in there and move forward with the transparency that was promised. It's like every time we think we're getting closer to the truth, something pulls it back, and this time it's those specific boxes that were supposed to be on their way out to the public. Think about it for a second, why would they do something like that if everything was above board, right? It's the kind of move that makes regular people like you and me sit back and wonder what's going on behind the scenes. The Kennedy assassination has been one of the biggest mysteries in American history since it all went down on November 22, 1960. And people have spent their whole lives digging into any possible connections between the CIA and Lee Harvey Oswald, the guy the Warren Commission said was the lone shooter who did it all by himself. There were all these contacts Oswald had back then in places like Mexico City and New Orleans with folks who were tied to anti-Castro groups and other people the agency was keeping an eye on for potential communist activities during those super tense Cold War times. It just makes you pause and think about what the CIA might have known or seen during all that, and whether any of it ever got fully explained to the public. Even though the House Select Committee on Assassinations came out way back in 1979 and said flat out that the CIA wasn't directly involved in the plot or anything like that, the questions never really stopped because files like these keep getting pulled at the very last minute every single time we get close to full openness. It's like there's this ongoing pattern where important pieces of the story get hidden away again and again, and now with this whistleblower coming forward and talking about the 40 boxes in front of the Senate, it's like the fire has been lit all over again. The testimony has lawmakers pushing harder than ever for answers, and the House Oversight Committee is right there demanding action because they want those documents returned so the review process can keep going like it was supposed to under the executive order. Dude, it's frustrating when you think about how long we've all been waiting for clarity on this, and then something like this happens and it feels like we're starting over from scratch. After more than 6 decades, one single tragic event can still make the CIA the #1 trending topic, with millions of people suddenly jumping into conversations online asking the same things over and over. Did the agency have extra information about Oswald's movements or any bigger picture stuff that was happening around that time in 1963? Were there operational overlaps that put them in a position to know more than what they ever admitted publicly? The official story has always stuck with Oswald acting alone, but the constant secrecy around certain records just keeps those doubts alive and makes people wonder if there's still missing parts that could change how we understand the whole day. It's enough to make anybody go, man, what if there's more out there that could finally connect the dots once and for all? And that's why this latest move with the boxes is getting so much attention right now. This whole episode isn't just some old history lesson either. When an agency like the CIA holds onto files that a president specifically ordered to be released, it makes regular folks question trust in the system today and whether we can ever really get the complete truth on big moments like this. Historians and everyday citizens and even the lawmakers are all saying the same thing. Come on, let's follow that executive order all the way through and get every relevant record out there for people to look at without any restrictions, so we can try to put the full puzzle together in the most honest way possible. The retrieval of those 40 boxes has sparked fresh demands from Congress, and it's reminding us all why the Kennedy assassination still matters so much even now in 2026, because it touches on bigger ideas about power and openness and holding institutions accountable no matter how long ago the events were. You know what's really wild about all this is how one day in Dallas back in 1963 still has this crazy power to pull the whole country into these big conversations and make people pause and think deeply about what we know and what we might not know. It gets you reflecting on things like government transparency and whether some secrets are kept for good reasons or if sometimes they're shielded in ways that leave too many unanswered questions hanging around for generations. The House Oversight Committee is actively on the case now, firing off their questions and pushing for real action because they see how this kind of thing can erode confidence in big ways over time. People have literally waited their entire lives for more clarity on the assassination, and it feels like with these latest developments we're right back at square one, watching the same kind of back and forth play out again with the Senate hearings and all the public buzz. I could honestly ramble about this topic for hours on end because the layers just keep unfolding if you really start thinking about it, starting from the early days of the Warren Commission report, which laid out the basic official version, all the way through those later reviews that still left some gaps in the story, and now we're seeing the exact same kind of dance happening live with the whistleblower testimony and the congressional demands for the boxes to be returned. It's fascinating in a way, but also a little bit unsettling if I'm being totally honest with you guys, because it makes you wonder if we'll ever reach that point where everything is out in the open and we can all look at the evidence without feeling like pieces are still missing. After everything that's come out over the years, the idea that 40 specific boxes could still hold some key clues or details about the CIA's knowledge of Oswald or the events leading up to November 22 is just mind-blowing when you sit with it for a minute. It makes the mind race with possibilities, and that's probably why this story is spreading so fast across the internet right now, with everyone sharing their takes and theories in the comments. Let's break it down even more because the details matter here. The whistleblower didn't just mention the boxes casually, he laid it out clearly in the Senate committee that these materials were tied straight to the assassination records and they were already moving through the declassification steps at the Office of the Director of National Intelligence when the CIA stepped in and retrieved them. That timing with Trump's executive order is what really stands out, because the order was meant to cut through all the old delays and force full disclosure so the public could finally have access without waiting another lifetime. Yet here we are with the agency pulling them back and the House Oversight Committee stepping up to say enough is enough, return the files now so the process can continue properly. It's the kind of situation that fuels all those long-standing questions about the CIA's role or knowledge around Oswald's activities in Mexico City, where he had those interactions with anti-Castro operatives, or in New Orleans with the monitoring of groups that the agency had eyes on during the Cold War era. Even with the 1979 House Select Committee conclusion that there was no direct CIA involvement, the pattern of last-minute file retrievals like this one keeps the skepticism going strong among regular people who just want the full story without any more roadblocks. It's like clockwork. Every time progress seems to be made on releasing the assassination records, something happens to slow it down or hide parts of it again, and this 40-box incident is the latest example that's got everyone talking. The public reaction has been huge, with forums and social media filled with discussions about whether this means there's still critical information being protected or if